Great. Okay, so welcome. I just wanted to start by introducing myself, and then Mia can introduce herself. We've actually been working with SDSU Child and Family Development for a very long time. Actually, the Office of Violence Prevention started working with Dr. Audrey Hakoda, like more than 10 years ago. So my name is Amelia Barilli Simon. I am a community health program specialist. I have an MPH, Master's in Public Health. And I've been with the county since 2004, a really long time working at the Office of Violence Prevention, then doing work in Central and Southeastern San Diego, and then coming back to the Office of Violence Prevention. We work a lot with community partners, not doing direct services, but in program development, doing a lot of training. Sometimes we train 30, 40, 50 people. Sometimes it's 200, depending on whether it's domestic violence essentials or health cares, or children exposed to domestic violence. There's a lot of trainings that we do. And we have several projects that the interns can participate in, and I'll save that for a little bit later on the call. Mia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Mia Hall. I also work alongside Amelia in the Office of Violence Prevention, in providing background support to the San Diego Domestic Violence Council. I am a violence prevention specialist. And so I do many of the same projects that Amelia works on. And so one of the things that we do here with the council is we have interns, because it's easier and more effective for us to have you come through the Domestic Violence Council than if we were trying to get you through the county. It's a quicker process, shaves off about 6 months. So instead of spending your whole semester trying to get on as an intern, you can get on right away and start working and getting your hours in. So, okay.
Yes.
Shaman is here. If he wants to introduce himself, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Hello. Hey guys, yeah, my name's Shaman Fletcher, working as a program assistant with the Domestic Violence Council Office of Violence Prevention, helping do the website and kind of everything like back end stuff, helping promote the socials and things like that. So yeah, happy to be here.
So I wanted to actually put up a organizational charts, because I think that will help you see how the committees fit in with the DV Council. I can share my screen. My mouse is always so slow when I'm on Teams. Okay. Did it share? Nothing's sharing. Why is it not sharing? Sharing my screen. My mouse is super slow. There you go. Okay, so the San Diego Domestic Violence Council is a grassroots collaborative. It's not a 501c3. There's no staff, but the Office of Violence Prevention, through a memorandum of agreement, we're the lead agency. And so there are several initiatives, including Family Violence Prevention Response Initiative, Domestic Violence Fatality Review Team. There's the general membership, and then the leadership is the executive team and the steering committee, which some of you will participate with. And then what we have here are all of the various divisions and the work that they do. So we have a training division, public awareness, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So there will be a lot going on with public awareness and community events. And all of you will be invited to participate in person to the October 3rd opening event at Balboa Park. And just as a reminder that anytime you go to an in-person meeting, you count your drive time. So if you're driving from San Diego State area to Balboa Park, all of that gets included in what you claim for your time card. Um, and then, as I mentioned, there's also social media. Then there's all the committees. And then our intern supports some of them. And then we also have prevention, where we do the partnerships with many, many, many partners. So I believe that our key internships this semester are the faith leadership, and I don't remember if we're doing health.
So it's faith leadership.
Uh-huh.
It's hold on. It's faith-based is the only subcommittee. Then we'll
Okay.
have the newsletter, social media, and the Cut It Out program.
Okay, so that's all under the steering committee. So, close. So we have a variety of options and that everyone can support. And we have monthly meetings. So the Domestic Violence Council has a general meeting that's virtual, sometimes and sometimes in person. So we'll send those out. And then the committees also have meetings, and you're welcome to attend any of those meetings as well, in addition to focusing on your project. So
So
maybe
there's
we
teen
can go.
dating. Yeah, teen dating violence is one that most of our interns have loved to attend,
Mhm.
because it's close to home in terms of being relatable. And so so that's one that most of our interns like to join and participate in.
Right. And then if you're interested, there's also a shelter and support services committee. And then by invitation only, we can also have you attend batterers treatment. So those are the treatment providers who do the court-appointed 52-week batterers treatment programs for offenders. And so the therapists meet together to discuss how to improve their program, some of the issues they have with the courts, issues they might have with probation, and so it's also another facet of addressing domestic violence is to address the offenders um, with that the treatment for them. So, there's a lot of opportunities that you in general can participate in. And then as we mentioned, we have 4 specific projects, and I will send a link so that you can watch some videos. But do you want me to go over the Cut It Out program first? And then Mia, you can go over some of the other ones. So the Cut It Out program is something that we started maybe about 10 years ago. And actually our new incoming president of the DV Council was one of our trainers. And the reason why it's called Cut It Out is because we train cosmetology and hairstylists um, to recognize the signs of domestic violence, and then they can have sort of be compassionate, approach their clients in a very understanding manner, do all that training about how to be approachable, and then share some of the local and national resources with them. And so we've done that, mostly working with schools, with cosmetology schools, like Bellis Academy and some of those other cosmetology programs. SDSU also had a program. And so we're trying to reinstate that. And then this semester, I think what we'll end up doing is having one virtual, um, set up a virtual training, and then invite the different schools to attend that. And so we'll be working with a trainer. And then the work of the intern will be to send out those reminder emails and, let people know when the work on the flyer, and share that information widely so that all the different schools will be able to attend. The other aspect that we were going to do is expand beyond cosmetology and look at barber colleges, massage therapy schools, holistic health. And then we have a partner with someone who does alternative medicine. And I think we were going to have them sort of do an intro to also talk about, why is it important for, alternative health practitioners to be aware of domestic violence so that they can help support their clients. So just very innovative work. Not every city does this, and so we're just really excited to move forward on some of these projects. Mia, do you want to talk about faith-based or
So yeah, I can talk
newsletter?
about faith-based. I can
Yeah.
talk about faith-based. And then Shaman, if you want to talk about the newsletter and social media, since that's your area that you work in. So faith-based community is, it sounds as simple. It is basically a group of all denominations who come together on a monthly basis and learn how to support their parishioners, members who maybe experience domestic violence or intimate partner violence. Um, we've done multiple different types of training, including healthy relationships, teen dating violence, elder abuse, financial abuse, things like that, to show the multi layers of domestic violence and intimate partner violence. So, and then we provide them resources for them to take back. And so it's a growing group in progress. And so um, that individual will be helping with facilitating the back end support of the committee. They also will be sending out information, emails to prospective members. We have a database, so they would continue to find points of contact for those faith-based groups that we don't have points of contact yet of. We have a database that we're working off of. So that's kind of what that's about. They meet on the third Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is a virtual. It may conflict with your school. What we will do is we record those trainings so that you can then access those recordings later. And the idea is every time you attend a committee, a training, or view a video that we provide, we just want you to send us back a synopsis of what it was about and then what you personally got out of it. Like, how did this information relate to you or trigger, and a trigger is not necessarily the right word, but what thought-provoking emotion or feeling did it bring to you? And so that's kind of what we want you to do. That lets us know that you've seen the material, and then you can count, and then you count the hours. So if the meeting is an hour and a half, then you get an hour and a half of work time if it's virtual. In addition to the videos, working on these individual projects, something that's really important that I want you guys to think about is something we call self-care. I am a big proponent of self-care. What we do here is very traumatizing. We are going to be looking and reading and working in some very traumatic situations whenever you're dealing with violence, personal violence, intimate partner violence, domestic violence. Some of the stories that are told are heart-wrenching and can be disturbing. There might also be some videos and some film and some photos that are disturbing. So I want you to make sure you're taking time for yourself to decompress and process. And if you have any questions, you want to talk about something that you saw, that's what we're here for. Any one of us three can be reached anytime during work hours. I actually have a work cell phone, and if you need to reach me because you're feeling some kind of way in the middle of the night, don't be afraid to call me. It's kind of what I do on the side. So I am a domestic violence responder within the county, and I do work alongside law enforcement, actually responding to actual crime scenes, dealing with victims who are literally just experiencing intimate partner violence. So I totally understand. So I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of, and I want you to document this. Document 30 minutes a week on your timesheet that you have gotten from your professors. So each week I should see the hours that you worked, and then somewhere it should just say self-care. And I don't even care what it is. If self-care is you walking to Starbucks and getting a tea, that's self-care. If it's taking your dog for a walk, if it's going to get some ice cream, if it's sitting in the dark doing nothing, that's self-care. So it's whatever you feel you need to do in order to disconnect and regroup, then that's what you do. And you just document self-care, and then how, you should have a minimum of 30 minutes a week. I get at least 3 hours a month. My self-care is my hands and my feet. I go get it done. I sit in the chair and I don't think. I don't choose a color. I don't choose a design. That's it. They do my people do, they know me. They know when I come in, they don't have to do much. They just, whatever they do, I'm going to love it. I just leave it up to them. That's my self-care. That's my way of disconnecting and processing and giving myself time to absorb everything that I've experienced. And then I also, self-care is my conversations that I have with my workers. So think about, what makes you happy. That becomes your self-care. Shaman?
And the reason why I think Dr. Rodriguez and who's the other one? Wendy. I always forget Wendy's last name. Ochoa. We've actually communicated with them for a while now about the value of including this in the internship, because what we want self-care to be is a practice. We want this to be a muscle that you learn to incorporate into your week, because if you are, you guys are busy students, you need self-care as students. When you start getting into the workforce, you're going to need self-care practices in your work, regardless of whether you work with kids, whether you work with adults, organizations, businesses, you name it. There will be a need for, practicing that muscle of self-care, and, giving yourself that me time, whatever it is. Like Mia said, it doesn't really matter. You can just call it self-care. Some people really like telling us what they do, that they read a book, they did the yoga. You know, you can share as much or as little as you want when on your timesheet about that. And so all of you should already have your timesheets. Today's orientation. Um, Make sure you go into your syllabus, get that. I don't know whether it's going to be a PDF document or something that's editable. It changes from semester to semester. Sometimes it's online. So just go to your syllabus and see what the structure of your timesheet is, and make sure that those are included. Um, Shaman, do you want to talk about social media? And you can either talk about the newsletter or I can talk about it, either way.
Yeah, I can give them like the outline of the newsletter, and then I was gonna ask you to like fill out the details. So if
Mhm.
you all are ever working with me, like I said, I do a lot of the social media stuff. So we're gonna be ramping up the Facebook page, the Twitter page, Instagram. Now that we're going into October, like she said, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I've been redoing the website. That's gonna be done here within the next week or two. Um, of course, before October, I'm getting the events put on there. But we also have a newsletter where we can, start sourcing blog articles. If we know any victims, I know me and Mia kind of talked about it shortly, because there's a basic outline, a basic template for the newsletter. So it's the President's Corner. We've got member highlight, quarterly theme, and success stories. And so something that we were thinking about adding is I don't want to call it like a survivor's corner, possibly, and getting stories of, just kind of survivors and what they've gone through, how they've maybe found things to help them through their recovery. And so that was something that we were thinking about adding to that. And then, yeah, Amelia, if you want to add on a little bit about what the newsletter also contains, that'll be awesome too.
Yeah, so the newsletter gets sent out to all of our members. We have about, I think, 900 plus, maybe 1,000
Yeah.
that are on our distribution list, and they're everybody from law enforcement, public health nurses, community members, parents, anyone who's interested in learning more about domestic violence. And some of the themes that we've had in past months included, teen dating violence awareness, um, animal abuse, and the programs through Rancho Coastal Humane Society that they have for fostering animals, because sometimes the victims are concerned about the not leaving their animal behind. So there's actually a program for victims of domestic violence where they can put their pet into foster care, specifically as a victim of domestic violence, and then they know that their pet is taken care of if they have to flee and their shelter doesn't take animals. And so there's just really neat programs in San Diego that we highlight a lot of our members. And so we can have a couple of interns work either together, or we can do several newsletters. And so we have a new president that we'd love to highlight, that she's coming in with a lot of really neat experience. And so there's a lot of really great things. I think was it on Canva that they were working on
Yes.
before?
Yeah,
So yeah,
Canva.
we just have an account that we use, or the Gmail for the DV Council, and then you can just use that for Canva. So we have the faith-based, cut it out, social media, the newsletter, and then every once in a while there'll be special projects that all of you can participate in, or community events. And then also, if at school, if you learn that there's an event that's coming up, for instance, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, let us know that that's coming up, and we can share it with the rest of the team, and then you can count that as your hours as well. Trying to think. We have another intern through the poli-sci department who's helping us with stalking legislation. So California does not have strong stalking laws, and there's a lot that's going on with technology now that is making it very difficult to convict for stalking. So we have recommendations that we wanted to incorporate into the existing penal code. And so we actually have another intern who's going to be helping with that. But if that's something that you're interested in, let us know, and we can certainly pair you up so that you can see what the legislative process is of going all the way from an idea to, finding that senator or assembly member who's going to be your champion, and then finding, making those recommendations that will actually change the law. So, there's a lot of things that we do, and that's just an example of ways that you as interns can get involved. So at this point, we have 5 minutes left in our meeting. Does anyone have questions about? Well, first of all, how are we doing, Mia, with the people choosing? Are they going to choose like their top two?
So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna send out an email.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send out an email today, and they'll be able to choose their top two.
Mhm.
Or they can rank them 1 through 4 where they would like to be, and then how they come in is how they're gonna go out. So whoever comes in first will have the first opportunity, and so on and so forth. So I'll be sending that out shortly. So look for that. Look for that email. It should be sometime in the next hour after we get out here.
So, do any of you have questions? You can type it in the chat box if you have questions.
So most of the work we're going to be doing is going to be virtual, but through each specific program, and then there's options to attend trainings and stuff outside of those.
Correct. Okay. So I think all of the projects right now are virtual, and then the October events are all in person. So if there's something in East or North, we have flyers for those events in the calendar, so that you can look ahead and see which ones work in your schedule.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you can make this all virtual, but I think that it's really powerful to go to these community events and see the work being done by our partners. And then our 4 speakers at the opening events are amazing. Five women. We have District Attorney Summer Steffen, City Attorney Mara Elliott, the Public Health Officer Dr. Wilma Wooten, who's our boss, our boss's boss's boss, and then Chief Nelson with probation, Chief Tamika Nelson, and then Sheriff Martinez. I don't know Sheriff Martinez's first name, but all women leaders fighting domestic violence.
Kelly Martinez, but I'm not positive.
Kelly. Yeah, I think you're right, Kelly Martinez. So it's just really awesome to see the leadership here in San Diego being so supportive of the work that we're doing to address domestic violence and intimate partner violence, teen dating violence. And it's a really inspiring event. And then we'll also the ways that the interns helped last year was that they had candles to commemorate those lives that were lost. And so when they read each name, each intern also held a candle and then walked up. So that was another opportunity to be involved in the program. And that was really meaningful for a lot of the interns last year as well. So was this what you expected? Did you guys have expectations about what this internship was going to be? Does it sound like it makes sense? You guys will fill your 30 hours. Is it 30, 35 hours? For sure, because there's 30 minutes of self-care every week. There's meetings, there's your project, and there's lots of podcasts and videos on we have a YouTube channel. Actually, maybe some of the interns can help
Yeah, we can get the
spruce up
YouTube. Yeah,
spruce
we
up
could
our YouTube
definitely get
channel
that
as
back up.
well.
I was looking,
Yeah.
we got a YouTube from 4 people
Yeah.
watched it this week, so
Hmm.
people are still looking for it. So it's
People
just a
watch it
matter
this
of
week?
You
Yeah.
yeah,
gotta
4 people.
I think that could fall up underneath the social media as a
Social
YouTube.
media,
I mean,
YouTube.
you could
Mhm.
almost have
Absolutely.
like if you want to group the newsletter and social media together as
Hmm.
one, like, and so that people can work in pairs. That's
Yeah.
always an option. So, ladies, we're really flexible about how you work, because the idea is we want to make it fun. We want it's something that you want to do, so that way you get something out of it too. So. That's why we try to keep it flexible. But like Amelia said, there's 3 events around the county in October. Um, and one of them is in the North County in the evening. The other one's in South County, also in the evening. And then there's one in the East County, but it's during the day. And that might be fun to go to because that's mainly for us, meaning the people that are doing the work. It's like self-care for us. So there'll be like candle making and aromatherapy and bath salts and just
Oh,
all the
giant
fun things
bubbles.
that
I
making
volunteered.
giant bubbles and just just a day for us. And 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 even though you'd get hours, that's almost like a whole half day of self-care. But that's the whole concept. That shows you how important it is for us to just appreciate each other. So
Great.
And I will add that they definitely do appreciate, those that work with them. So don't ever feel hesitant of voicing, if something's uncomfortable, if something's confusing, like just ask, just say something. I think it's way better to, I don't want to say over communicate, but yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm kind of, what's going on? They do
So
a
it's
very
speaking,
great
yeah.
job of making sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody knows what's going on. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thank you for that, Shimon. And definitely, as far as over communicating, definitely email both Mia and myself if you're in one of the other projects, and then if you're with Shimon um, with social media, just email all 3 of us because we work different hours, and I actually work on another project related to worksite wellness and in the business community. So we have a lot on our plates. Mia also has other roles within maternal child adolescent health. And so if we're not always up on our emails, it's nice to have someone else responding to your emails. So just make sure you're always CCing our whole team so that there will always be someone who can get back to you on your question. Okay. Well, we're excited to have you. There's a lot of really neat experiences that you have through this internship that you may not get otherwise. And so we hope that you really enjoy it and put a lot of, thoughts, like Mia said, in your reflections. Make that yours so that when you attend these meetings, these trainings, kind of take a little step back and say, what did I learn from this? And we always appreciate hearing feedback. Okay, is anyone typing right now? Someone's typing. Any questions? Okay. All right. So next step, Mia's going to get your votes. First come, first serve. So respond.
I think somebody might have had a question.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I had a question.
sure.
So basically what's happening is that we get placed inside of like a program that we like have we basically rank it how we would like what we're most interested in, and then second and third.
Mhm.
So so you just send us the email to whichever one we got placed in, and then from there do we kind of get like the scheduling and things like that?
So we're your supervisors, all three of us. You will have meetings and opportunities that everyone can attend. And then depending on your project, there will be special assignments to either work on a database, send out emails, create flyers, um, do the newsletter, do the social media. So depending on whether you're working with the faith-based community and sending out the committee emails, or working on the Cut It Out programs and promoting the training for cosmetologists and the barbers and massage therapy, that will be like helping to support those upcoming trainings. Social media is kind of self-explanatory. So everyone will have access to the Domestic Violence Council events and meetings. And then depending on your project, you will have unique tasks related to your projects. Does
Oh,
that answer
okay.
your question?
Yeah. No, it does.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Okay. Well, we're at 2:34. Thank you so much. And if you still have other questions, you have our emails, feel free to ask. Or if you want more clarification about some of the programs that we mentioned, let us know. But it's a supporting role. Everything that you do is a supporting role, and we value that assistance because every email that goes out, every reminder, every flyer, those are all really, really helpful to continue the success of our programs. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And don't forget to put this orientation into your time card.
And I just sent the email for your assignments.
Oh, perfect. All right, so check your emails. All right. Thank you, everyone.